this video is fucking late. Hello YouTubers, my name is Catherine Bogle, and you're watching my review of Episode 9, Season 3, Game of Thrones, The Rains of Castamere. So sorry about the lateness on this video. I've just been really busy lately. If you watched through some of my recent videos, I kind of explained it a little. And if you haven't seen some of my recent videos, before you watch this, you should definitely, scroll a little and you should find my reaction video to this episode, because I think it will be way more hilarious than sitting here watching me talk about the last episode. It's not quite gonna be quite as exciting. But anyway, let's jump right into it. So the Rains of Castamere obviously is the title of the song that is played when kind of Catelyn starts to realize like what the fuck is up. And may I just take a moment to say, holy freaking crap, I did not expect this to come, but I'm gonna just wait until the end of this video to talk about it since it didn't happen at the end of the episode. I'm gonna exercise restraint. So we start out with Robb and Catelyn, and they're talking about the attack on Casterly Rock, and Robb is finally listening to his mother! Surprise, surprise! But no, honestly, I like how you can really tell that he, respects her now again, after all this shenanigans with letting Jaime go and stuff. She just did it because she wanted to save her daughters, and I never really thought about this until now, but I wonder what Jaime's gonna think of this once he finds out that Catelyn and Robb are dead. So then they go to the twins, they go to Lord Frey's, and Robb has to make his apologies, and he has to, beg forgiveness from all the daughters, and Lord Frey's just being a friggin' asshole the entire time. He is such a pig-headed douchebag, honestly, he's actually worse than some of the other evil characters, just because, he's, kind of more disgusting. At least Tywin does it in kind of a classy man way, and Joffrey's just fucking, no, he's pretty disgusting, too. And then, holy Jesus, Lord Frey has a lot of freaking children and grandchildren. So basically he talks like he's mocking Robb the whole time, and it's really annoying, and you wish it would stop, and you hate how careful they'll have to be around him, because if they, do one slip up, then, he's not gonna give them the army he needs. So Frey creeps on friggin' Talisa, and holy crap is it creepy, ugh. And then he acts like such a friggin' jerk to his own children, who do you think you are? You're not the fucking king of Westeros. Frig off, go away. I really am starting to hate him. So then we go to Dany, and she's talking strategy with Daario and Jorah and Ser Barristan and stuff. So they're talking about how to take young Kai, and pretty much Daario's saying, given his plan, and I hate that his plan is good, and just the entire time he's just hitting on Dany, and I'm just I want him to stop. I do not trust him yet. I know they're probably going to end up together for a certain amount of time, especially with the whole young Kai thing happening, but they should not. I don't trust him. If he's not evil, fine, whatever. But I just have so much distrust for him right now. So then we get to Sam and Gilly, who we haven't seen in a little bit, and they're almost to the wall, and they're kind of chatting about books and stuff, and it's so funny how flabbergasted Gilly is about what you can learn in a book. So it's really nice to see how far they've come. They're almost to the wall, and so they're kind of almost scot-free, so let's hope this continues to go okay. Then we get to the Hound and Arya, and they stop to help a poor gentleman on the side of the road, and, well, the Hound does help the cart, and then he fucking knocks the guy unconscious. So they steal the cart, but Arya stops the Hound from killing the guy, thank God. Someone has a soul. I kid, I love the Hound, and I love him and Arya's relationship right now. It's so cute, and it's really, amusing. It's, a different cute, too, from, when it was Sansa and the Hound, because it's almost he's a little more, he's protective of both of them, and it's it's really freaking cute and weird, and I just like their relationships. I don't even know what kind, it's an older brother, little sister relationship or something. So then we go to Bran and friends, and they're getting much further north, and they decide to stop when Jojen feels feels like a storm coming or something, and holy crap, you're a weatherman now too? What else, what other powers do wargs have? So they decide to stop at this mill for the night, which comes in kind of funny placement as we go to Jon. So John and the wildlings are thinking of taking over this guy's farm because they want to take his horses and gold, and they have nice steel weapons and stuff, so they're basically chatting about doing that, and John does want to kill the old man, and he kind of raises some good points and stuff, and Tormund's kind of like, okay, like, that makes sense, I guess, and then the stupid warg guy is just being a jerk, and he's just kind of like, oh, well, he's not one of us, he doesn't want to kill him. Why do you want to kill everyone that you see? Like, unnecessary. Then we get this shot of, like, all the wildlings running across the field, and, like, I didn't think that many wildlings scaled the wall, considering half of them got, like, pulled off in, like, an avalanche, and then, like, the only other group on the wall that we saw, I guess, was, like, Tormund, the warg guy, and Ygritte and Jon. But I guess, obviously, there were others, but, like, I feel like we should have known this sooner. Anyway, so Jon interrupts Ygritte, who's, like, trying to shoot the old man and stuff, and she's not pleased about that. She actually does that, though, after Jon actually warns the guy, because you hear it. He takes his sword and he clocks it off a rock, so there's, like, a loud clang, and it disturbs the horses, who alert the man inside. So he gets, like, a bit of, like, time ahead to actually try and escape. Good on you, Jon, trying to save the old man. That was actually a pretty good idea, because it could seem like you maybe did it by accident. Like, they don't actually talk about it or anything, but good. Then we're back to the Hound and Arya, and they're kind of, la-di-da, and they're almost to the twins, and just, like, in the distance, you just see it, and you're like, Arya, run to it, you're almost there, and it's so, like, upsetting at the end of this episode. So obviously Arya's, like, afraid of still not making it because she's this close, and nothing's really freaking gone well for her in this entire show. And then Arya actually has the lady balls to bring up how the Hound is, like, terrified of fire. Friggin', you really gotta have some balls to, like, bring up that to, like, the Hound. Like, he's ridiculously sized. But Arya, stop threatening the Hound. He's bringing you to your family, obviously. He's not, like, evil. Like, just freaking stop. Then we're back to Bran and friends in the tower, and poor Hodor is kind of, like, freaking out a little because of the thunder, and he doesn't like it, obviously. So they're talking about the best way to get over the wall when the wildlings show up. So Hodor ends up freaking out, which kind of alerts the war guy on the ground, and at the same time, then Bran uses his, like, crazy power and, like, goes into Hodor's mind and just, like, mind fucks him, and then Hodor is just passed out on the ground, and then it's like the commotion's over, and they're all just kind of left like, the fuck just happened? So the wildlings get the man, and Tormund dismisses the war guy talking about the voices he heard on the tower. He's just like, oh, it's fucking wind and thunder and shit, and he's like, I know the fucking difference, and he's like, well, fine, it's just fucking ghosts, it doesn't matter. And then, of course, Tormund's about to kill the guy himself, which at least would have been better. So he's about to kill him when the war guy's like, why can't Jon do it? Shut up, war guy. No. Why would you bring that up? Because you're a giant douche and you want to see Jon fail. Not to mention you jelly if you're doing this. So, freaking calm the fuck down. Like, that was so mean and not cool. So then they're kind of jumping back and forth between Bran and friends and Jon and people. So, Bran and Jojen are kind of being like, oh, well, we need to control the wolves, and Bran's like, well, I can't do it unless I'm asleep, and Jojen's like, you just fucking control a person! No one else can do that! Yes, you can do this! And then, of course, we go back to Jon, and he can't really decide, like, he's like, no, I can't kill the guy, because he's a good person, and blah, 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 and they don't freaking see that. So, huge fucking fight erupts, and people die and shit. The usual. So then Ygritte ends up shooting the man anyway, and then Jon pushes her out of the way to protect her, and then ends up in this big fight, and then Tormund grabs her to the ground, and he's like, kind of like, no, like, you can't save him, like, you'll die or some shit, and Jon, big fight, and then Bran sends the wolves in, and they help him, and I'm just like, the whole time I'm like, whose wolves are those, Jon? Who is near? Like, you know those wolves. And then the war guy dies, and I just cheer, and I'm fucking excited. So after, the friggin' hawk is done attacking Jon, he gets a horse and just peels off into the distance, and then Ygritte's left there being kind of like, You're leaving me behind, huh? That's not fucking cool. Like, she looks like sad and pissed at the same time. Those are two emotions you do not want a woman to have at the same time. It's your funeral, John. Now we're back to young Kai, and we have the three of them, Grey Worm, Jorah, and Dario, all getting inside there, only to be confronted with this, like, miniature army. And then, of course, to no one's surprise, they totally kick ass and take names. I did not expect them to be such a good team, though. Like, they're crazy outnumbered and they still freaking win. Like, holy crap, you must have shitty soldiers. So then the wedding begins. Yay. And I didn't realize this before, but actually Lord Bolton was standing behind Robb during the ceremony. I didn't notice that until I watched it the second time, so I guess he was already there and I should have freaking seen the ending coming slightly sooner. So then, of course, Lord Edmure is kind of pleasantly surprised to find that his bride-to-be is a gorgeous, adorable woman instead of, like, ugly. So then the ceremony takes place, blah blah blah, and there's this part where Frey just gives Robb this look. Just this look that you're like, he's kind of like this ha-ha look, but now there's like subtext to it once you see the ending of the episode. It's not just a ha-ha, you missed out on this beautiful woman anyway look, it's like this like, ha-ha, I'm about to kill you look. Now we're back to Bran, and Jojen's telling him how no one else can fucking do that. Not in the north, not in the south, not anyone can do what Bran just did. Holy crap. And then, of course, Bran brought up how he saw Jon, and they're all like, oh my god, Jon! And I'm like, yeah, oh my god, Jon! Like, he needs to fucking come back and be like, hey guys, haven't seen you guys in a while, maybe you could use some extra protection. You know, Jon's kind of busy running from the wildlings, I guess, so you get a pass on this one, Jon. Just this once. I just really wish they could have been reunited. Like, I feel like that would have been, like, pleasant instead of the ending of this episode. So then Bran reveals his plan of having, instead of Osha going with them over the wall like she completely dreads, she is going to instead take Rickon to a nearby city, I guess, like a nearby town. And so that, I think, is a much better idea, because Rickon is like a wee little child, and he should not be out in the wilderness like that. Like, he needs to have a childhood and grow up and stuff. It's just so sad, and, like, Rickon's so adorable, so, like, you hate to see this happen, but, like, it really needs to, I guess. I also would like to note Osha now. It's so cute. She's almost like their mother. Like, these poor children have been, like a couple years now, or, like, a year or so without their mother, and, like, Osha, I feel like she's really stepped up, and she's kind of taken on the role of, like, kind of like a nanny, I guess, but, like, at the same time, it's almost more than that, because they respect her, and she's not just, like, some woman, she's, like, a wildling, she was a warrior, and she's a freaking badass one at that. So then they decide to leave immediately and say goodbyes, like, it's not cool, but, like, Rickon will be a lot safer, I think. But you know, what I think doesn't matter, because apparently I can't fucking see big giant shit like the end of this episode coming. Until, like, moments before. Now we're back to Dany, and we're outside young Kai, and Dany's concerned, like, because it's been a while since they've been gone and stuff, and then all of a sudden they get back, and it's like, oh my god, you guys are okay, and then Dany asks about Dario, and I'm just like, your concern sickens me. I do not like him. And then you just see Jorah's face, like, fall, like, he's so upset, he's like, what? Like, I'm sorry, I kind of ship Jorah and Dany, like, I kind of want them to be together, honestly, like, I think they're, like, the cutest thing, but what do I know? So, Dario brings Dany the flag, blah blah blah, I don't care about you. Don't get me wrong, Dario's a cool character, I just don't want him to be with Dany. So yay, they got young Kai, or they at least got the gates open or something. They weren't super clear on that, but one of the two, yay. So we're back to the Red Wedding again, and their feast is kind of going on. Everything is so pleasant, and it's so peaceful, and it's so deceiving. And then there's this little shot of, like, Lord Bolton about to be poured wine, and he's kind of like, no. And I feel like that's, like, the first sign. Like, why are you drinking wine? Like, I didn't really, like, I noticed it before, but I didn't notice how this, like, kind of, like, led into it. And also the fact that he was promised a wife, and he was promised silver, like, from Lord Frey, like, this is freaking suspicious. Like, I didn't really find it all that suspicious until all this shit happens, but, like, I found it suspicious. There's so many cute moments with Talisa and with Rob, and I'm glad they get to have their last cute moments on the show, just because they're like one of my favorite couples. Like, okay, I like all the couples, who am I kidding? The actual couples, like, who love each other, not like the shitty, weird Tyrion and Sansa couples. Because that's just weird. So Lord Frey's making his weird, dirty jokes, and then Lord Edmuel's new wife here is carried off, and they kind of go off for the bedding ceremony, which sounds like it sounds ridiculous and not fun at all. So she's carried off, much to Talisa's dismay, and it's a really bizarre custom. And then I love this cute little part with Catelyn saying how, like, Ned forbade it because he didn't want to punch anyone on his wedding night, so he, like, forbade the ceremony, and I thought that was, like, a really cute thing to say. I really miss the Ned and Cat couple. They were so cute, and I miss them. I at least get to see them in the graphic novel that I have up there sitting on my shelf, but I just miss it. Like, I wish they'll be together in whatever afterlife they believe in, but, like, sad, and I miss it. I think someone asked me about, in my other video, I haven't got to respond to the comments yet, but someone asked me in the other video if the cute thing I was mentioning, like the cutest thing anyone's ever said on the show, it was something Talisa said, and it was how they were talking about, like, is it going to be a boy or a girl, and she was like, well, if it's a boy, I know what the name's going to be, and Rob's like, oh, well, I'm the father, don't you think I should have some say in it? And she's like, we'll name him, like, Eddard, and you can have, like, your little Ned, and it was just like, no, it was so cute and sad, and, like, pretty sure Catelyn overheard it, and I think that would really make her happy. And oh my god, it's so sad, and then everything else that happens is just ridiculous. I don't like it at all. Then this is where stuff starts to go down. So the guy locks the door at the back, and this is when Catelyn's kind of like, what's going on? And then the Rains of Castamere, the songs, the choir or whatever minstrels start to play, and then you just, like, Catelyn gets this look, and she looks up, and she's like, kind of like, this isn't they shouldn't be playing this at a wedding, and you know, like, this is the moment where she knows they're fucked. And then we're going to we're doing the shifting thing with, like, Jon and Bran earlier, where instead it's with, like, Cat and Rob, and then it's with Arya and the Hound. So Arya and the Hound are coming in, but they're kind of reaching a little resistance at the door, so Arya just fucking ditches. Then we're back to Lord Frey, and he starts talking. And then Cat realizes completely what's up, and she sees Lord Bolton's armor, and she just leaps up, and she's like, Rob, no! And then this guy comes behind Talisa and stabs her in the stomach, like, several times. And this is, like, where you know, like, everything's just gonna get progressively more shitty when they kill an unborn child. Like, you know, like, just, it's gonna fucking suck from there. So Rob is shot with some arrows, the rest of the men are shot with a bunch of arrows, and they're kind of starting to get all murdered and stuff. Cat gets shot with an arrow through her shoulder, and it's just a big fucking slaughterhouse, basically, while Lord Frey just sits there and watches and is, like, disgustingly satisfied. This is the moment where the hatred for him becomes complete. So then we go back to Arya, and she's sneaking in there, and she comes by and she witnesses some of Rob's men getting killed, and then she witnesses the poor direwolf being killed, and she can do nothing at all about it. Like, this isn't fair. The poor wolf, poor Arya, poor every single character who just died. Like, she was so close, and, like, she's so sad now, and it's not fair that she didn't get to reunite with her family yet. Like, I really hope she gets to reunite with someone soon. Like, it's not fair. It's not fair at all, and it's just, like, making this really sad, honestly. So then she's trying to run in and, like, see what's going on, when, of course, the Hound stops her and knocks her out and saves her ass. So I hope she fucking recognizes what he just did for her, because he just snuck in there himself to save her. Arya, you need to stop being so dumb. Now we're back into the wedding, and Cat's, like, crawling under the table to get closer to, like, Lord Frey and his wife, who's also under the table. So Rob is still alive, and then Lord Frey calls off the assault so he can kind of have his little tirade rant thing. So, like, he's mocking Rob while Rob crawls to his poor dying wife's side. And then Cat, being the badass woman, mother, wife she is, she grabs his wife, holds a knife to her throat and says, like, you fucking let my son go, you can have me, but you cannot have my son, like, or I'm gonna kill your wife. And, like, oh my god, the acting in this scene is incredible. It's literally the best acting of the entire show thus far. The entire 3 seasons, best acting. Like, my heart broke when Catelyn was, like, screaming, like, at Lord Frey for, like, her son's life. Like, it's not fair. Like, I was still choking up, like, the second time I watched it. And then the fucking bastard says, fine, I'll just find another wife. And so, of course, like, duh, it's not fair. And then Lord Bolton comes up and stabs Robb in the stomach, and he's like, this is for the Lannisters. And then, oh my god, just Catelyn lets out this, like, wail of despair, and she just slits his wife's throat, and she just falls to the ground, and Catelyn is just there, like, you can just see, like, the agony, like, this is causing her, like, and how, like, it's like all the fight just was flushed out of her immediately when that happened, like, so sad. So then her throat is cut by, I don't know, one of the guards or soldiers or something, and she just falls to the ground dead, and that was it for Catelyn Stark and Robb Stark and Talisa. Like, I can't even with the end of this episode. It's so sad, and I did not see this coming whatsoever. Like, I'm pretty good at predicting things, but, like, I knew something was up, like, the moment Catelyn was getting all shifty and stuff, but, like, I didn't think they were gonna kill, like, 3 main characters in one sitting. Like, George, you fucking talented bastard, you. I hate that you did this, but it's brilliant. Like, even if I hate that you did this, like, it's amazing. Like, it's such a good plot twist, and I just hate that I like this plot twist, because I hate that you just killed them. Like, I can hate, but I can also appreciate. But anyway, that was a fucking depressing-ass ending to that episode. And thank you all so much, actually, for not, like, ruining that for me, because I know a lot of you knew that was gonna happen, and no one ruined that. Like, I was, like, if you saw the reaction video, you know I was fucking shocked. Like, did not see that coming. So the next episode looks like it's going to be badass as fuck. So it's going to be the last episode of the season, which is really sad because I'm going to miss Game of Thrones Mondays. Even though, like, they weren't on Monday this week. So anyway, next week's episode of this should hopefully be on at the right time. I've just had a really busy couple weeks, and it's probably not going to get any less busy, but at least Monday I should probably be able to get the video out on Monday. So if you guys want to let me know in the comments below if you want the reaction video or this review video on Monday, so let me know about that, because then I'll put one on Monday and hopefully either one on Wednesday or Tuesday. So let me know about that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this and the reaction video. And again, 100 subscribers, let me know how you want me to celebrate that, because there's like 100 and some now, like, holy crap, thank you for, like, subscribing to me. Like, this is all I do. I just talk to my fucking webcam about Game of Thrones. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Catherine Bogle, and you just watched my review of the Rains of Castamere.